Hit that like button and subscribe. Coffee and Kush TV, KevRow University, live and direct. Got some great news for a lot of people who come to just fool around and fool around at the university with tricks up their sleeve. Guess what, family? We don't found the witches and warlocks in the community, and it's time to fight back. I'm sorry to my witches and warlocks. You guys are expelled. Press one, Brittany, the ringleader. Press one, you gotta go. Y'all gotta go. Brittany is actually the first student to ever be expelled from the university. Not Francois, not George, press one, not Todd Chatter. Nobody has ever been expelled from the U. Press one. There's only one person on earth. Press one who have been cast down to the bottom. I'm just teased. But expulsion from the U, if you up here walking up these YouTube streets fooling around, I just want to remind you, you're not fooling nobody but yourself here at the U. It's at your own progress to progress. Press one. Yes, we can. Hit that like button and subscribe. What up, Todd? What up, Kimberly C? Shout out to the people who support this broadcast. Shiva, Amanda, I had to delete Brittany off the Patreon. That's how I don't even want the donation, the contribution to the program. You know you expelled when you can't even get on Patreon. He don't even want your support. Nigga can block me out like Shaquille O'Neal. Press button. Yes. Hashtag no mas. No. Something's just not right. Jeez. All money ain't good money, as they say in the hood. Sometimes you gotta let them go. Looks like another support TKO. Press one. Hit the like button. Taj, what up? What up, champion? I got some great news. And we always got great news here at Channel 54. Doesn't matter where we are in America. We always got great news. And I've been studying. You probably say, Kev, you were supposed to come on last night, man. That's messed up. Well, look, if I don't come on that night, that means I'm standing on something very, very powerful. And I have to look through it to deliver it in a way that my morning crew, press what? My boarding crew is here. You know, I got to give it to my people first. So, what we got here? What's up, George? I see you, Brian King. So, we dug deep. Information has been coming from all over. Mr. Thomas Watson has been sending me things. But one thing in particular, he sent me something about the pineal gland and melanin and all of these things. And we went even deeper. You know, a lot of people is not participating in class. That's not my fault. You got to be able to keep up. If you're not participating in class, I don't know what to tell you. If you're not getting the information, I don't know what to tell you. We moving straight ahead. What up, Said? Good to see you. We moving straight forward with this information. If you don't understand a little bit deaf squared, I feel bad. Wait for us to get the history. You got to be able to see the symptoms. If you don't see the symptoms in your rat-controlled gridlock that y'all live in, you'll never see what got you enslaved. So, we not playing here. I'm not playing. You know, we just on an up and up. Every day, every week, every month is just another great explosion of information. And those are from people who are actually committed to just sending information that's pertaining to the subject matter so we can keep this conversation rolling. Grid, the Black Sun, and the Gateway process of Saturn. I think we had Ocean Gate, the Gates of Hell, all in the World Fairs. All of this becoming more clear as we pick up science and get quantum physics, get a new idea and a perspective on how to view spirituality and who gave you this spiritual sense. Hit the like button. You don't know who gave you this spiritual sense of pineal gland and you're a goddess of the cosmos and this new age these new age philosophies and such. Mm, mm, mm. What's up, Crystal Ford? Good to see you. Tasha Payton, I see y'all. Good to see y'all. So who gave y'all? I've coined that the serpent's knowledge. I think we did a good job at exposing what the serpent's knowledge is, what spiritual practice they were dealing with, especially back in old Egypt per se. They're still dealing with these hermetic principles to this day, but they're blending it as if it's some form of spirituality. And they all say, this is our ancestor spirituality. This is our ancestor. This comes from Africa. Then you find out Africa was just created. Like, wait a minute. Africa is not a country. It's countries on a continent. So our whole perspective of ancestry, all our people know is we came from Africa. And our spiritual practices are what? Tattoos of unks and Egypt, Africa tattoos, as if Africa is one, and saying we in our language, our lineages. Then you do your birth lineage, you find out who you are. You ain't got no connection to the other person over there talking about we and us and we need reparation. Wait a minute, who are you? I'm an Indian from Niji. I'm a Niji Indian. Oh, who are you? Oh, I'm a federalized Indian. We are brother. Press one. And who are you? Oh, I'm a Moroccan Spaniard Moor who used to be kings and queens, but started teaching white people and they took over us. Now we helped Columbus get here. It's like, what the fuck? Nobody has a definition. Well, guess what? Kev Gills and his research team, we got our own theory as well, and we be doing really good. What's up, Karen? Good to see you. Good to see you, Karen, this morning. So we made it. It's our quest to see where this program is coming from. I know maybe Todd to tell y'all in history, there was something called Operation Paperclip where the Nazis were brought here to do what? Mind control everybody with TV propaganda nonsense, aliens, and how to tap into the mind, the black sun, the pineal gland. But nobody wanted to believe us. Press one. No, don't try to get on a bandwagon now. Everybody, you see, there go Todd. He can agree. So, I watched Manchurian Candidate, where Denzel Washington plays a mind-controlled person who was given a false perspective on reality, given LSD drugs by some Nazi-style doctors, and had them come up with wild stories on how they was heroes in the war. Meanwhile, they was drugged up.
I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Could you please say...
I'm sorry, Siri. Meanwhile, they was plugged up like Neo in the Matrix, plugged up full of dopamines, getting fed all type of wild stories with their eyes wide open for hours and hours and hours. Press one. I'm starting to think they was testing crack, LSD and PCP on the people. Good morning to you, Forrest Glory. I'm starting to think this whole thing was based off of drugs and opium and mushroom hallucination drugs that get your ass hooked by any means necessary. She can be fluoride in the water, fluoride in the toothpaste, fluoride in the shit better than toothpaste, fluoride everywhere. And we already came up with the conclusion that this is a systematic racial cleansing of O-type or C-type blood. My man Todd say incompetent. Exactly, sir. So, what a beautiful journey we've been on. Eugenics, thank you. Eugenics. And we already know this was eugenics that dealt in the black or impoverished communities and or can be white or any other community is PCP, Dev Squares, Newport cigarette, how to flip Adam's world upside down that they may live upright. Press one in this psychopathic world we live in. embalming fluid, crack cocaine, the tampering with one's psychosis, their DNA. What were the crack era? What did that do to test tube babies? Deformities all over America. It's another state of peril, but another way to get rid of you. And when you look at embalming fluid, that's the cleanser of humanity right there. Looking back at the past, you can wipe a whole if they were kings and queens and Victorians, man, you put this in their water, oh my goodness, they'll be drugged out, thinking that it's aliens attacking. Press 1, but it's really us. That's what happened in the War of the Worlds in the early 1950s. They put on the radio that the whole world was being attacked by aliens. Next thing you know, your whole community is burned down with fire. They probably had radio wave or fire technology. You start fires every goddamn where. Press 1. Just start fires everywhere. But we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that. What a beautiful time it is to be alive. We don't went into the records. Listen, you little witches and warlocks, I went into the acoustic records of the CIA. Press 1. Hit that like button. Now you understand. Witches and warlocks. Come here. Come here right now. You witches and warlocks, stand up if you're so powerful. Press 1. Stand up right now. Witches and warlocks always hiding in the background, fooling around, doing a bunch of witchery, making shadows. Press 1 against the wall. You just making a shadow at yourself. Nobody gets through the wall, the barrier. Press 1 but me. Nobody gets through the fucking wall. You cannot use me to do what? Even if I wanted to get you, you couldn't go. Even you couldn't even go because you ain't paying no attention. I tell you to push the damn button. Y'all don't know what button to push. Press 1. Talking a bunch of shit in the community. Y'all the witches and warlocks. You know why I call you witches and warlocks out? Huh? They'll be the first ones talking shit. That's why. Be the first one. And y'all the one don't even know your whole spiritual practice was created by the CIA. Press 1, you are a mind control witch doctor for nothing. That's not real. It only operates if you're in deception. But if the person is wide awoke and got in belief in God and got a support group that's watching and following them as well, they're going to make fun of you. Press 1, hit the like button, confirmation. Press 1, that's what the energy said. Press 1, hit the like button. Trajectories must have been off in your witchery. Press 1, got to go back and pay the witch doctor again. Uh-oh. They might not be around this time. Just go around. Try again at your own risk. Press 1. Silent claps only. Press 1. Silent claps. Press 1. Confirmation. Stupid. Hit the like button. Kev Gills is solving racism. Press 1. That's what I'm doing. Healing the world, like Michael Jackson say, and make it a better place. Press 1. See, Zip with the drip don't know nothing about that. Hassan Campbell don't know nothing about that. And we know Sarnetta don't know nothing about being a good person. That shit is foreign to him. Press 1. They try to sucker us back into being part of the LSD and crack epidemic death square, but guess what? No. Sometimes we got to tell Sarnetta, no, we don't want drugs and and conscious thoughts in our brain. We don't want to hallucinate with you, Puerto Rican black power maniac freak of nature. Press 1 and hit the like button. You piece of shit, you. A piece of crap. Mr. Hanky, we call him in the hood. Press 1. Flush. Hanky go down the hole. Press 1. Sarnetta is an A and B prototype. He's a hologram projection of the real him. He's a real bug in the world he comes from, in the dimension. He's a fucking worm. We used to call him Earthworm Slim. Press 1. He's a fucking slug, a slime ball. He's like a worm with a shell like a snail. He got all type of little slimy attributes to him. He's immune to scandalous shit. Perhaps when he prayed to the scandalous gods, like pimps do. Perhaps when talking about he ain't with that monkey business. We got him with his hand over his heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the United States of America because I'm from another nation and I need refuge. I ain't shit, never gonna be shit, and gotta corrupt other people to believe in shit. Press one. Hit the like button. They're all out there begging for change right now on 125th Street with all of their garments and throw over robes on. Talking about white people ain't accepted into goddamn. White people more accepted than you. Press one. Y'all won't accept. How all the Moors now, Hebrew Israelite, press what? This shit is getting absurd. I'm gonna talk shit about the United States of America and you signed to KevRow, you signed to Death Row. You can't talk to Suge Knight like that. You stupid. You signed to Death Row. Y'all see Brother Polite about to get deported after he finished doing them years? Press one. He ain't never coming home. Press one. He going home. Press one. Hit the like button.
Not like this.
Got his ass.
Not
you hear
like
me?
this.
Polite ain't never coming home. You gonna take his ass. I'm gonna tell you something about Kev Gills. I can never be deported. Get y'all ass up out of here. Prince, I told you, gonna hunt him down. God is gonna deal with him. Facts. Y'all ain't got nothing to talk about. Don't try to blame nobody else, Cheddar. Ain't nobody else to blame. All your friends go through these types of issues because y'all are embalming fluid Dev Square. That's why. You fucked up the community selling drugs, pretending to be black power, but you was black powder. Press one. Your ass was black powder. Press one. Your ass is black goo, tar, LSD type shit. Press one. How many drugs did you sell? Press one. How many drugs do you niggas sell in the community? Gator boots and the pimped out Gucci suit. Old ass nigga, he gonna die in them Gucci shoes. That's scandalous, huh? Yeah, that's cold, cold-blooded. Because the reason why I go so hard, y'all, is because they lied to us. These witches and warlocks have lied, like Funkmaster Flex said about Tupac. He lied. You feel me? They lied, family. Bro, the cosmos and Neptune and Saturn, bro, this ain't real, bro. These are allegories, bro. The gods they believe in with the crescent moon and the star, bro. They got us to deny our own God to believe in things that are holographic universe. Things they imagined when they was under COINTEL CIA mental programming of crack. Crack and heroin destroyed their lives. Now they think we believe all of their mythical powers come true, but they ain't brought back no power from the second, third, or fourth dimension. Hit the like button and subscribe. They ain't brought back no power. Just words and destruction. Just myths about Metatron and meta gods. And y'all, Brother Polite was talking about Planet Risk. Nigga, NASA didn't even discover Planet Risk yet. The fuck is Planet Risk where we come from? And y'all gonna sit around this goddamn community. Planet Risk, RISQ, big head, green, black alien. Are y'all stupid? That's one. Talking about this guy is gonna deliver in Planet Nibiru and come on, bro. Where is this? You, at some point in time, I'm sorry, at some point in time, you gotta come to the fucking agreement that this ain't real. And you up here trying to tell me that my God ain't real. No, nigga, your God ain't real. It's make-believe. Show me thoughts. What is his, where's the Book of Dead Thought book? Where's this tablet? What does it say? What did, no, you read it, punk. And press one, don't give me nothing. Let my sweater go. Press one, let me go. I don't listen to crackheads. Former crackheads are nothing without the rehabilitation certificate. What did you really do? Go on into Mickey Mouse Dream World then, motherfucker, because I don't believe former crackheads. Press one. And Sarnetta is a self-admitted former crackhead. He said he was walking up the street. People thought he had AIDS, but he had lupus. Press 1, praise God. Press 1.
I sit alone in my four-cornered room staring at candles. Oh, that shit is
Hold
on.
up. That's Sarnetta every day. This triggered him. Watch this.
I sit alone in my four-cornered room staring at candles. Oh, that shit is on. Let me drop some shit like this here.
Talk to him, Sarnetta.
At night I can't sleep. I toss and turn. Candlesticks in the dark. Visions of bodies being burned.
Talk to him, son.
Four walls just staring at a nigga. I'm paranoid sleeping with my finger on the trigger.
That's right.
My mother's always stressing I ain't living right. But I ain't going out without a fight. See, every time my eyes close, I start sweating and blood starts coming out my nose. It's somebody watching the act, but I don't know who it is, so I'm watching my back. I can see him when I'm deep in the covers. When I awake, I don't see the motherfucker. He owns a black hat like I own,
Press 1.
a black suit and a cane like my
Told
own.
you.
Some might say take a chill, B, but fuck that shit. There's a nigga trying to kill me. I'm popping in the clip when the wind blows. Every 20 seconds got me peeping out my window.
Now, hold up. If that ain't cracking LSD, Sarnetta, you need to come over here and let me interview you, King. Sarnetta, press 1. If Kev Gill should interview Sarnetta, press 1. If y'all agree that Kev Gill and Sarnetta, I'm Dr. Kev, and I seen he had an outcry. He never had a friend like me. So I'm extending my hand out and use my doctor experience and philosophical ideas and my scientific method to cure Sarnetta and his lineage of the evil demon particle that exists inside of him. Press 1. But I got to be able to interview him correctly, live on the air. Press 1. Hit the like button and subscribe. I want Sarnetta to be honest with himself. I'm going to cure him of this evilness that he does. All of his friends that are caught up in the legal game, his recent friend, Brother Polite. And Sarnetta's probably wondering, how come I keep making friends with dirt bags? Press 1. He doesn't know his perceptual, his life, and what he thinketh, as so is he. Press 1. So he gonna be trapped, making friends with gangbangers and ex-drug dealers that's one step away from the criminal, from the jail. Press 1. And he don't know how to grow past that. Hit the like button and subscribe. Diagnosing Dr. Gillespie, don't have a choice. That's my friend. I know deep inside, somewhere in that little frame of his, Frank exists. Press 1. Frank. Frank, come on, Frank. Talk to me, please. I know. So people like Frank need to be in Universe 25 so we can purge evil out the community. You're going to purge evil out. We're going to stamp it out. And we're going to cure him live on the air. Like the Book of Clarence. We're going to use scientific theories. Press 1. Diagnose your weak ass. Hit the like button and subscribe. Let me see what we got here. My good friend Sarnetta. We already cured the community of Brother Polite. Brother Polite is no longer with us to accept the award. Press 1. I'm stepping in on behalf of the greatest conscious brother in the community. Thank you. I'm stepping in. He is no longer with us to accept this Grammy. Press 1. All that laughing and playing with Stinky Inky. Huh? Huntage. All them Lamborghini, all of the BMW i8 hanging out with Floyd Mayweather, got the $3,000 shoe, got the matching belt for $2,850. Press 1. Got the matching Versace shirt for $3,800 with the gold shoe, with the gold jean. Looking spectacular out here. Oh, your body in gel? Priceless. Oh, the crime you just committed? Oh, shit, bro. Take it all back. Take it all back. That's a shame. We got this broken down to the smallest molecule, a demon particle. You're going to find out what the demon particle is. You're going to find out why the pineal gland is not to be activated because there ain't no activation going on. But your sense of creating alternate universes by way of psychedelics, that's you. That's you. You want to keep believing because you got an earring in your nose like a bull that you got some creative power because you want to tattoo an eyeball on your head? Let them go. Press one. Them little broads is crazy as hell. Then not one of them got God in them. Press one, hit the like button, and subscribe. Don't date them. Press one, leave them be. Leave them dark females alone. And they are demon particles who need to come to the light, like Sean Paul say. Press one. Hit the like button and subscribe. Just give me the light. And never mind. Y'all too young for that one. Hit the like button. What up, Tasha Payton? That's how they do us out here. Tasha, you gonna love this one. Y'all gonna love today's program. Because this is gonna be document when I finish fooling around. It's all document. We finna give y'all the history. We got 8 more minutes, about 4 or 5 more minutes left before we start class. I love each and every one of my students and supporters. Even if you on the EBT program, I love y'all. Even the trolls that come, I love. Without y'all, you feel me? You wouldn't know no better. We taking trolls and establishing real connections with them, like on the movie The Matrix when Neo made peace with the Sentinel trolls. Now we found common ground. We both hate these people. First one. All of my, you feel me? Everybody ain't to be a stumbling block. Just because you hit the wall don't mean you my enemy. Press one. Come on now. That don't mean you my enemy. Brittany's an enemy of the row. Trust me when I tell you, that's some enemy shit. But y'all ain't my enemy. Y'all students. What up, Terry B? Been following Kev Gills this whole time. Shout out to Terry. You ain't not enemies. Soon as I get up out the classroom, I'm back smoking again, chilling at the hallways, chilling with you, brother. I got class, bro. Tell them, Todd, we got to put the weed out and go to work. Press one. Sonetta and them just like to stay on the street talking. We gotta put that work in. They ain't gonna never bring this information because they monkeys for the white man. Press one. I say they monkeys for the white man. They the ones who help take out all our national heroes and then put us on drugs. Man, the National Black Panther Party, they was so dope before Sonetta came around. Press one. Boy, before these old COINTELPRO work for the state dope head niggas came around and started doing stuff, we was all right. We had lunch tickets for everybody. Press one. You think these is your heroes? Sachetta, where you at? Call it in, punk. Call it in, you slime ball. Press one. You got Brother Sanchez over there talking about the Hermetic principles, the black woman in the womb. Come on, bring it out. Retarded man, bungalows. Come on. Come on, Cletus. Press one. Calling all aphrodisiac hallucination ass scholars with the Cosmo propaganda. I'ma prove it. Look at your neighbor and say, prove it then, Kev. Shut the fuck up. Press one. Hit the like button. All right. Prove it then. How much more minutes we got? Hit the like button. Let me read off my Cash App. So these are the students who contribute to my program before, during, and after. Press one. Hashtag 50fold is in the building. Fletcher, shout out to you. I love y'all. Hit a Triller. Thank you for that contribution. Chad Dyson for being the standing, not outstanding. Shout out to you, Fletcher. Whatever subliminal greatness that meant, I felt that. All right? Fletcher say for the support of the road. Taj, shout out to you. Bo Cat, shout out to you. Another day, Mr. Cedric Bernardo. Sir, shout out to you. Mrs. White, shout out to you. Oh my goodness, you two combined, all you can hit that like button. And I love y'all for them contributions. Got to work hard for this shit. Got to work hard. Got to work hard. Some of these people take us for granted, y'all. You know, it's people you may know be around and they be trolling. Like my people. My people in real life, they don't do nothing but troll me, y'all. Hit the like, but they just be trolling, talking shit, hoping I break. But look how far we come. We got real life testimony on this program. That's why people feel this, because people walk with Kev. They watch us grow, fall, come back, channels knocked down, come back again, all type of stuff. You know? And sometimes you got to embrace that. That's different for me. You feel me? I don't know about talking to people in my classroom, sir, but this ain't the Brady Bunch type of chat room. You're out of here, expelled like Brittany. Press 1. When you talk here and you're not a student and I ain't read your name off and you're not in the Patreon or no support knowing that this is FUBU content, bro, you got to go. Ain't no just hanging out. Where you get that KevRow sweatshirt from, bro? Take that off, bro. You're not really from over here, bro. If this was real life, we would have stripped you, cut your shoestrings out, bro, and sent you running up the street. Press 1. We would have made you pay for our ice cream truck. All the kids, ice cream from Big Worm. No, nigga, you don't just dress like that over here, bro. You don't talk like that over here, bro. We get busy. Press 1. We get busy over here, bro. No, we a small faction, bro, meaning we extra'd out. Extra. We small. We got bigger crews out here and all that. So you got to be a Wolverine over here. You got to be a X-Man over here. I'm just walking around with them goofy ass shoes. Press, what are those? Nah. Bro, where your bro, Maxes? You know when with Reebok, bro? You ain't got shit, bro. You know Nipsey, bro. Get on somewhere, bro. It's my world, bro. It's Universe 26, nigga. Press 1. Hit the like button and subscribe. They be mad at me because they can't hang out. And that's why you can't hang out, because you was somebody else 2 days ago. Nigga, we know you. You feel me? You can't wear no mask over here and start talking to my friends like I don't know them. Don't talk to nobody, nigga. Nobody. You talk to me. We don't know you. They don't know you. You probably deceived them. You don't want them to graduate school. You want you here to fool around and call names like we know you. Nah, bro, turn around. That's a damn shame. I got to tap the board for you AD niggas. Turn around. I'll turn around. As soon as his head can't turn around. Press 1. He always got blinked sideways. Give him a few minutes. His whole body going to be talking to Dante again. That's a damn shame we got to do these niggas like that. They don't want to pay attention. Say it. They don't want to pay attention. Good. When y'all see me doing this, that means we got an incompetent. We got to stop the whole fucking class because an incompetent don't made his way to class. Press 1. Hit the like button and subscribe. God is good to me. And you know, y'all not about to fuck this up because y'all been bit by the venomous snake called quantum pineal gland opening shit. Press 1. It's not happening. It's not happening. None of you niggas, until you niggas are able to explain all of these, wait till we get to it. I can't even expose it right now. We 4 minutes in the class and we got one person kicked out. Put his desk on the outside of the class, please. Thank you. Come again. Tomorrow it'll be better, bro. You'll know the rules better tomorrow. Oh, my goodness. All right, y'all. And that nigga can't read anyway, because I'm about to put up some stuff that where you got to read, and his comprehension levels is below average, starting on his first day. He's not welcome here, bro. This is a private academy, bro. Open campus, yet private academy, bro. I mean, we hold the discretion like your local mom and pop fucking store, nigga. Get out, bro. I don't even want you to buy a soda till you learn words. And until you niggas get to 1828 in the scripture in the etymology tab, nigga, and get the Webster's dictionary and get that Black's Law, bro, don't say nothing. You not on this level. Shout out to my family, y'all. I love y'all. So anyway, I can't do this with these people. I'm not doing it for another year. So anyway, we have something great called the GateWay program. And what this program is it's Monroe Institute of Applied Sciences. This is the science of your belief system. Press 1. Now it's up to you to take the blue pill and the red pill. I don't give a fuck which one you take, really. Because you know, like I know, ain't no real choice. Just take one. And you gonna whichever one you decide that's what's gonna happen. You know the rules. All right. I don't want to hear. Man, that's not true, man. That's not right. This is. Remember the question. What's the number one question, Todd, that I started this whole program on? I'm going to tell y'all how we made a full circle, 7%. Press 1, KevRow. What'd you say? Huh? What's the one question that got us this far? Come on. Get a star by your name. Be first. Be first. Damn. Give my man a star. Give my man Todd. Todd, bro, you're going to get a digital disco, a motherfucking Amazon card. You keep going. You got a star by your name. A star and a half. A star. That one right there, fuck that. That's worth 2 stars. That's worth 2 stars. Who are we? Give him 2 stars. Give Todd 2 stars. Please. Thank you. 2. Gracias. Press 1. We doing this. Who are we? Hey, Kev, man, we. Who is we? And we ask one question. Who is we? Then the we team came out of fucking nowhere. Press 1. And then Brother Islam. And then all of these folks. All this coming from the Nipsey Hussle thing. That's what brought me to us to each other. Nipsey Hussle and we. Who is we? What if I told you I found it? It is a COINTELPRO Gateway Program Unit. Press 1. What if I told you I found the equation? Uh-oh. Polite's gone. The We team. SoftBank. Oil under Los Angeles. I mean, what haven't we brought to the surface? Bones. Millions and millions of bones. Press 1. What if I told you I found the answer to who we are? I think y'all should know. You would want to know who we are. Press 1. Who is we? I've always asked this. Who is we? Because ain't no we when something happened to me. I know there's me. I don't know about no we until we found out who we was. Hit that like button and contribute by way of Cash App, hashtag Skills Gang. It's right there on the bottom. Facts. It's important that we remember why we started this venture. We want to know who we is. And by God, we've been led correctly. KevRow, Kev Gill, and staff. Literal staff. Facts. So, I want to introduce what they are. What is COINTELPRO are? The destruction and the psychology of the black mind and all of this that we're talking. We're about to read something together. It's called the GateWay program. It was developed by the CIA in the 1950s, probably before it was put on record in the 50s, which means they were already up to no good with this psychological war that they've been raising on the African-American / Victorian communities for this whole time. So, without further ado, I'll get to who we are. Press 1. Monroe Institute of Applied Science present the GateWay program. Who are we? Is the subject matter? Feel free to call it in when I'm finished reading from this. All of this happened to do with chakra activation, witchery, and how to activate these things. This is real. And I found it on YouTube. We found a lot of videos, a lot of CIA paperwork, documents saying different things pertaining to this, and many more programs that gateway. But I think this is the gateway to hell. I've always said that the pineal gland and this little self-knowledge of self and self-indulgence and self-worship and turning yourself into I've always called that the indoctrination of Satan. So to see it in black and white, not from a nigga mouth or somebody that's trying to deceive you, somebody who takes part in the dark arts. And if you have, that's on you. If you still here, God is good. Give you some time, just some goodness in you or something. Facts. The truth of the matter is, it's time to wake up from this dream world that we've kind of been stuck in. And let's get to it. So this is the Gateway program. I could start off by giving a YouTube video for better explanation, but I think reading it and going through it is better. We call it, look, the Gateway program, how it works. We call it this because the series of techniques do lead to a gateway into different modes of perception. From our observation, the individual who become involved in this program find it both deeply disturbing and deeply satisfying. From time to time, one response outweighs the other. Some participations run into what we call the fear barrier, particularly if they try to advance too fast. One way or another, this manifests as a fear about the potential loss of the self as they know it. For this reason, the program develops a long, carefully controlled steps, each with a strong and positive base. This permits a self-protective mechanism to work. Hundreds of times we have observed that when an individual begins to stimulate himself more than his level of adjustment will allow, he blanks out the experience. He feels either that he went to sleep or that he clicked out for a period of time. Perhaps the next time or fifth time he repeats the exercise, he'll remember the experience and dodge his level of adjustments, his home static network into a larger awareness, blah, 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 blah. Look, deep relaxation, focus type of things, one-to-one, individual tests. Look, high energy. After the participants have explored and used focus 10 to their satisfaction, now that's all this, breathing techniques and all of this. Look at the bottom. This is where I'm going here. This is, again, the gateway affirmation. Now listen to this. If this ain't new age idea of quantum eye-opening experience, I don't know what is. The gateway affirmation. I am more than my physical body, because I am more than physical matter. I can perceive that which is greater than the physical world and deeply desire to expand and to experience, to know, to understand and control, to use much greater energies and energy systems as many as may be beneficial and constitute to me and those who follow. Oh my goodness. Also, I deeply derive the help and cooperation, the assistance, the understanding, and blah, 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 blah. again. Hey, listen, I'm not here for it, Alfred. We don't need confirmation from you. Out of here. So, all of the affirmations, focus points, chakra movements, all of this is already inside of this GateWay program. Now, if you don't know, in the hood, what they call the GateWay program is PCP, LSD, crack, dev squared. So you're going from a scientific method, in my opinion, to a real life situation. Crack, cocaine, LSD, PCP, black tar, black stone, all of this that was a part of what? Universe 25, broken down into blocks, aggressiveness, behaviors, fluoride in the water, the different temperaments, the apartment complexes. All of this will be the real base of this program, the real basis of this experiment. Fact. From the music that was dropped in the 40s and 50s and 60s and 70s, all based off of drugs and the efficacy of drugs. And everybody was doing them, and heroin and the needles and all of this. All of that was destroying the mind and creating alternate realities in oneself. And a lot of these people overdosed on these drugs thinking it was real. A lot of people overdose, sending them chairs in their homes found with needles in their arms because they don't took too much PCP drug. And what's the effects now? People drinking too much lean, not waking up, never waking up, bro. Facts. That's embalming fluid. That's that shit that make you dead. So, race is dead. You ever realize that the same people who push a dead race is the same people who push dead religion and believe in dead concepts and dead gods and got a dead language? Y'all ain't never paid that no attention. And these same individuals who pledge to be dead are the same ones talking about COINTELPRO, and they don't want to see us rise. Why don't they want to see what techniques are they using that you don't wake up from a dream? Drugs. So why aren't they talking about drugs? Why did they change the argument from the war on drugs, the 94 crime bill, all this death and destruction to Black Lives Matter? Like something that's not real, like little petty arguments about dream worlds that was created while people was on LSD trips. You got Billy Carson talking about Egypt 35,000 years ago, and that's how he know the Bible came from all of that shit. You don't know what the fuck was going on 35,000 years ago. They made that whole story up based off the Bible. Nigga, that's what I believe, off of scripture and prophecy. 35,000 years ago, and they don't know what happened 200 years ago. They can't remember. But your black ass know what happened 35,000 goddamn years ago with some goddamn green tablet in the book of the dead. Why would I want to read that? I need everlasting life. Why would I want to believe in the book of the dead? Just to say, oh, this was before the Bible. It's like their whole existence is to deny. They ain't proved not one thought, no transcribed. Anybody who translated anything of Egypt did the translating in 1900. So the pyramids and everything just sitting up there and waiting for German translators. Just, look, people been living there all the goddamn time. Ain't found nothing. And here you all come. Oh, look at what we found. A tablet. A stone with the weird writings on it. Get your dumb ass out of here. Let me guess. You and your people is the one who wrote it. Let me guess. Yep. Now these black folk is upholding a false sense of reality, a false spectrum, a false light, a false sense of knowledge, all carrying from what? The GateWay program, the pineal gland, the seat of the soul. Press 1. When you Google all of this GateWay program and all of this silliness, who is we? Who is we is them, y'all. Believers of these lost sciences. That's y'all who've been mind controlled. That's you. So let me just go over, and I'm here to help you, love. That's y'all. Y'all was sitting up here believing in third eye activation, and y'all still got to pay rent. Y'all thought y'all ain't went nowhere, family. Press 1 with the cap. So let's talk about the different gateways. We already did the mushroom. It's all like made up jargon that these scientists put forth to control time and space, meaning what's in the sky and what's behind us. If you don't know where you've been, you don't know where you're going, kind of thing. So when you're dealing with the GateWay experience, you notice we're dealing with outer space. Y'all do know none of that stuff is real, but you're dealing with the what did young Pharaoh say? Astral projection. You're dealing with these things. You can type it anywhere on YouTube, anywhere, and just type in the GateWay experience. Is all going to be dealing with access to the mind, all of it.
Explore. Enjoy and experience the patterns of Focus 3, the synchronized brain and mind.
This is all for people who don't believe in God, by the way. FYI. You get this when you don't believe in God. This is the science of the dead. Let me explain. Let me say it again. You believe in this. That's why you don't believe in God. You believe in this holographic, universal, mega mind brain. You get this. Sinette and them believe in this. Computer, robot, mushroom, shit. Frequencies and activating and shop. Press 1, hit the like button and subscribe. That's why they always subliminally talking about walking in muddy waters. Well, press 1. Well, you better stop walking in the muddy water. You got to go to God. If you don't want to walk in muddy waters no more, you got to get delivered. Press 1. You got to get delivered, bro. Tell young Pharaoh there is no astral projection without God, bro. You tripping. Them is drugs. Them females put mushrooms in your spaghetti. Bro, that was fucked up, bro. Yeah, that's how they roll, bro. Watch them. You gotta watch them hunt. Ollie, tell them they cold. This is about the mega mind. Now, I never watched this stuff anymore. I used to be, man. But it really is just space.
When you have them all in the box, close the heavy lid tightly and turn away from your energy conversion box.
See? Look at you. Transferring energy, probably conscious shit. That's all. Everything is going to be the GateWay program. Right? It's all activating the mind. Let's look here. This is fact.
She also notes that studies conducted by Elmer and Alice.
Let's go.
Everything is one. It seems as though in process. While it's an older document and has been declassified for a while now, the fact that modern developments in science, quantum physics, psychedelics, and neurobiology confirm what's written within those pages is nothing short of outstanding. It explains consciousness in a profound and analytical way and merges knowledge from mystics from Hindu, Buddhist, and Tibetan cultures to contemporary scientific knowledge of Planck distance, Einstein's theory of relativity.
I told you, a combination of Hinduism, Hermetic, all of the Eastern philosophies and sciences into one and practice. Go ahead. That's like Constantine. Remember?
And the works of Niels Bohr. The cosmic spiral and torus is everything, and everything is one. It seems as though individual consciousness is pulled from the collective consciousness using the frequency vibrations of the being. This
told you. So all that consciousness shit y'all be talking about, it come from the tests that they were performing during this with the radio waves, and everything is energy and blah, 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 blah. Mind control freaks of nature.
applies to humans, whales, fungus, and amoeba. Mystics of past and present, including all ancient religions.
I told you mystics, energy, those, you know who I'm talking about, the witches and warlocks.
Understood these concepts thousands of years ago. Still, it takes much to open the minds of the most pragmatic, self-conscious, and uptight people.
This is the first step along your path to a gateway beyond which is discovery, your own discovery of reality, of truth, of who and what you are.
You all know who today's sponsor is, Skillshare. I initially joined Skillshare to take classes on video editing and then also found myself taking classes on personal development. Recently, I took this class or hemisync. The most effective way to begin is to briefly profile the basic mechanics which underlay operation of related methods such as hypnosis, transcendental meditation, and biofeedback. It is easiest to effectively describe what GateWay is by beginning with a short description of those associated techniques that share some common aspects with the GateWay experience, but which are nevertheless different. In this way, we can develop a frame of reference at the outset, which will provide useful concepts to explain and understand GateWay by comparison as we proceed. 5. GateWay and hemisync. Fundamentally, the GateWay experience is a training system designed to bring enhanced strength, focus, and coherence to the amplitude and frequency of brainwave output between the left and right hemispheres, so as to alter consciousness, moving it outside the physical sphere so as to ultimately
Openly admitted to alter consciousness.
escape even the restrictions of time and space. The participant then gains access to the various levels of intuitive knowledge which the universe offers. What differentiates the GateWay experience from forms of meditation is its use of the hemisync technique, which is defined in a monograph by Monroe Institute trainer Melissa.
You ever seen them people throwing up the 3-finger yoga shit? Where does that come from? This philosophy. So the practices that y'all been taking part in is not from your ancestors. It's from this science project of Universe 25.
Jaeger, as a state of consciousness defined when the EEG patterns of both hemispheres are simultaneously equal in amplitude and frequency. Although hemisync seems to be rather rare and of only short duration in ordinary human consciousness, Melissa Jaeger states that audio techniques developed by Bob Monroe can induce and sustain hemisync with the Institute's basic Focus 3 tapes. She also notes that studies conducted by Elmer and Alice Green at the Henniger Foundation have shown that a subject with 20 years of training in Zen meditation could consistently establish hemisync at will, sustaining it for over 15 minutes. Dr. Stuart Twemlow, a psychiatrist and research associate of the Monroe Institute, reports, "In our studies of the effect of the Monroe tape system on brainwaves, we have found that the tapes encourage the focusing of brain energy. It can be measured as with a light bulb in watts into a narrower and narrower frequency band. The focusing of energy is not unlike the yoga concept of one-pointedness, which we may translate in Western terms as single-mindedness." Dr. Twemlow goes on to observe that as the individual gets into the tapes,
if you don't understand what you thought was a religion is nothing more than psychologists, hypnotic ways of thinking.
Beyond Focus 3, there is a gradual increase in brainwave size, which is a measure of brain energy.
You got the right approach. The hippie movement. all of that, the psychedelic, that whole movement, even before they became drugs that became everybody got hooked to, those drugs is what they were using to get you up out of here, to say you were incompetent. Because those drugs, if you ever been to a rave or something like that, oh my goodness.
Or power. 6. Lamp versus laser. Melissa Jager uses a metaphor to help clarify the process involved in the use of hemisync in the Gateway experience. She points out that the human mind in its natural state may be likened to an ordinary lamp, which expands energy in the form of both heat and light, but in a chaotic, incoherent way, which diffuses its energy over a wide area of rather limited depth. On the other hand, the human mind under the discipline of hemisync acts in the fashion of a laser beam, which produces a disciplined stream of light. The stream of energy is projected with total coherence of both frequency and amplitude, such that the surface area of a laser beam contains billions of times the
The Nazis would consider this heaven on earth. The doctors who were performing all of that shit back in the day, this is like heaven for them.
concentrated energy found in a similar surface area on the sun. Gateway assumes that once the frequency and amplitude of the human brain are rendered coherent, it is possible to begin accelerating both, so that the human mind is soon resonating at ever higher vibrational levels. The mind can then bring itself into synchronization with more sophisticated and rarefied energy levels in the universe. The mind, when operating at these increasingly rarefied levels, is assumed to be capable of processing the information.
Now check this out. When you enter these fraternities, what are they? Gamma, beta, alpha, theta, delta. All what? Frequencies. So who's keeping you at these? We'll get back to that, KevRow.
Thus received through the same fundamental matrix by which it makes sense of ordinary physical sensory input to achieve meaning in a cognitive context. Such meaning is usually perceived visually in the form of symbols, but may also be perceived as astonishing.
So you can't get mad at these dudes who be like, I'm an alpha male. They're operating at a specific frequency for sure, for sure. I'm beta. I'm delta. I'm this one. I'm that one. Hit the like button.
Flashes of holistic intuition, or even in the form of scenarios involving both visual and oral perception. The mechanics by which the mind exercises the consciousness function will be addressed in more detail later in this paper. 7. Frequency following response. To achieve synchronization of brain hemispheres, the hemisync technique takes advantage of a phenomenon known as the frequency following response, FFR, which means that if a subject hears a sound produced at a frequency which emulates one of those associated with the operation of the human brain, the brain will try to mimic the same frequency pattern by adjusting its brainwave output. Therefore, if the subject is in a fully awake state but hears sound frequencies which approximate brainwave output at the theta level, the subject's brain will endeavor to alter its brainwave pattern from the normal beta to the theta level. Since the theta level is associated with sleep, the subject concerned may progress from a fully awake to a sleep state, providing that he does not consciously resist, as the brain strives to entrain its wave frequency.
Now you starting to see the science behind Tyrone, y'all. Let's go.
Output with one which the person hears. Since these brainwave frequencies are outside of the spectrum of sounds which can be heard in pure form by the human ear, hemisync must produce them based on another phenomenon.
Remember, we're thinking music. It what goes inside of the ears. The frequency. The music is the frequency. So if you got the music at a delta bass level, then you got this. Remember, Tyrone.
Known as the brain's capacity for deducing beat frequencies. If the human brain...
So if you want a deadly community, here comes the drill music. If you want and induce them with this, and it'll make it look like Chief Keef is really in them deadly people. Like they have no innocence to them. They need to be eradicated, right? Fuck it, destroy O Block. Fuck it, just tear their neighborhoods down. Let's build something here so they'll go away. You see how that works?
is exposed to one frequency in the left ear, which is 10 hertz below another audible frequency played in the right ear. Rather than hearing either of the two audible frequencies, the brain chooses...
Told you. So you saying MK Ultra, I'm saying rap, culture. That's MK Ultra. Music. How to destroy Adam is the operation of Satan. Remember that. MK Ultra, all of these is Illuminati words. Let's be scientific. Let's just keep it 100. Let's keep it out of the frame of Illuminati and all of this. No, hell no. This is Ice Cube and them. That's the Illuminati. Leor and these people.
to hear the difference between them, the beat frequency. Thus, availing itself of the FFR phenomenon and using the technique of beat frequencies, the GateWay system uses hemisync and other audio techniques employing the FFR phenomenon to introduce a variety of frequencies which are played at a virtually subliminal, marginally audible level. The objective is to relax the left hemisphere of the brain, place the physical body in a virtual sleep state, and bring the left and right hemispheres into coherence, under conditions designed to promote the production of ever higher amplitude and frequency of brainwave output. Audible and perhaps subliminal
Wow. Now that's how you control Tyrone.
suggestions by Bob Monroe accompany the various brainwave frequencies, which are sometimes rolled in together with other sounds, such as sea surf, to mask the sound frequencies where desirable. In this way, GateWay endeavors to provide the subject with the tools by which he may alter his consciousness based on his own volition over time, through the repetitive use of the tapes, so as to access, via intuitive means, new categories of information not available to ordinary consciousness. 8. Role of resonance. However, brain coherence through entrainment to beat frequencies introduced via stereo headphones is
You see? Boom. Just like I said.
only part of the reason why the GateWay system works. It is also designed to achieve
So not only does it work that way, that's only part of it.
the physical quietude characteristic of deep transcendental meditative states, which bring about a complete alteration of the fundamental resonance pattern associated with the sound frequencies produced by the human body. Yoga, Zen, or transcendental meditation, if practiced long enough, will produce a change in the sound frequency with which the human heart resonates throughout the entire body. According to Bentov, this change in resonance results from the elimination of what the medical profession calls the bifurcation echo, so that the sound of the heartbeat can move synchronously up and down the circulatory system in harmonious resonance approximately 7 times a second. Bentov describes the role played by the bifurcation echo as follows.
Wow. Y'all got a religion of about to be dead. That's your goddamn religion. You about to practice being dead. You gonna spend your whole life practicing to be dead. Well, slow your heart rate down. Matter of fact, take some promethazine. Press one, maybe you can young moolah, baby. Hey, I don't understand why it's so hard for you to believe you are practicing death. Wow. Insane. Slow your heart rate down to 7.
When the left ventricle of the heart ejects blood, the aorta, being elastic, balloons out just beyond the valve and causes a pressure pulse to travel down along.
Hey, listen, family, listen. Just believe in Christ, bro. Bro, don't do it. Tell Netta, stop. Young Pharaoh, don't do it. Your heart is going to explode because you're going to start convulsing. That's what's going to happen to you. They're telling you this. Bro, you may open up a portal and run up the wall backward, upside down. Who am I? I'm the Legion. Boy, if you don't get your ass off that wall right now, and listen, bro, type in yoga demon. I never did that before. I'm just saying something is going to come up. Something is going to come up. Y'all tapping into shit that Satan has used. I know that's fucked up to say, but damn, he did it. He told you you're going to be like God, knowing good and evil, and now your heart is about to explode. That's probably why all you ghetto women got heart problems. The spiritual practices y'all be doing. That's probably why all the niggas be fucked up. The spiritual practice. You ever thought about that?
The aorta. When the pressure pulse reaches the bifurcation in the lower abdomen, which is where the aorta forks in two to go into the legs, part of the pressure pulse rebounds and starts traveling up the aorta. If in the meantime the heart ejects more blood and a new pressure pulse is traveling down, these two pressure points will eventually collide somewhere along the aorta and produce an interference pattern. By placing the body in a sleep-like state, the GateWay tapes achieve the same goal as meditation, in that it places the body in such a profoundly relaxed state that the bifurcation echo slowly fades away as the heart lessens the force and frequency with which it pushes blood into the aorta.
Oh, Lord have mercy. They're systematically, that's why we have heart disease, diabetes, because they have a radio wave frequency that's disturbing our natural immune system. And your heart rate, your natural sense of defense against these things, because you got natural things like hair in your ears that block certain sound. You ain't supposed to think like a dog or hear like a dog, with just things that aren't supposed to be, except in the way God has created us. And this is insane to think. This is like an attack against your whole nervous system, if you really think about it, if you want to take it there.
The result is a regular, rhythmic sine wave pattern of sound, which echoes throughout the body and rises up into the head in sustained resonance. The amplitude of this sine wave pattern, when measured with a sensitive seismograph-type instrument, is about 3 times the average of the sound volume produced by the heart when it is operating normally. 9. Brain stimulation. Bentov's biomedical model shows that this resonance is of considerable importance since it is directly transmitted to and impacts upon the brain. The resulting vibration is received and transmitted into the brain itself via the fluid-filled third and left ventricles located above the brainstem. An electromagnetic pulse is then generated, which stimulates the brain to raise the amplitude and frequency of brainwave output, just as Dr. Twemlow observed in his research on the effects of the hemisync tapes. Also, the brain is contained in a tight membrane called the dura, which is, in turn, cushioned by a thin layer of fluid located between it and the skull. As the coherent resonance produced by the human heart in a state of profound relaxation reaches the fluid layer surrounding the brain, it sets up a rhythmic pattern in which the brain moves up and down, approximately 0.005 to 0.01 millimeters in a continuous pattern. The self-reinforcing character of resonant behavior accounts for the body's ability to sustain this movement despite the minimal level of energy involved. In this way, the entire body, based on its own micromotion, functions as a tuned vibrational system which transfers energy in a range between 6.8 and 7.5 Hz into the Earth's ionospheric cavity, which itself resonates at about 7 to 7.5 Hz. Of this process, Bentov states, this is occurring at a very long wavelength of about 40,000 kilometers, or just above the perimeter of the planet. In other words, the signal from the movement of our bodies will travel around the world in about 1/7 of a second through the electrostatic field in which we are embedded. Such a long wavelength knows no obstacles, and its strength does not attenuate much over large distances. Naturally, it will go through just about anything: metal, concrete, water, and the fields making up our bodies. It is the ideal medium for conveying a telepathic signal. Consequently, the GateWay process is designed to rather rapidly induce a state of profound calm within the nervous system, and to significantly lower blood pressure, to cause the circulatory system, skeleton, and all other physical organ systems to begin vibrating coherently at approximately 7 to 7.5 cycles per second.
So, if you listen to drill music on your way to school every day, and drill is your favorite rappers and your favorite, does the body respond to the signal of the brain. Yes. So whether the child knows it or not, he's going to experience and take part in that behavior by way of his body reacting to what's in his mind. So he's going to carry the same attributes. He's going to walk like he would if he was a killer, but he's a great kid. You're going to walk around like this and that one, and that's going to take hold of an individual. Now, back in the day, you know, different things like different music genres did different things, and drugs, and took part in like Satanism at that. But that's just an example of how what goes into the mind as an anesthetic, you know, something that cause your right mind or left mind to sleep and accept that programming, and then you go off thinking that's really you. We have all seen this and been part of that, so that's true.
The resulting resonance sets up a regular, repetitive sound wave which propagates in consonance with the electrostatic field of the Earth. 10. Energy entrainment. As the body is tuned into a coherent oscillator vibrating in harmony with the surrounding electrostatic medium, the specific exercises included in the GateWay tapes enjoin the participant to build up the energy field surrounding his body, presumably by using energy from the Earth's field, which the body is now entraining because of its ability to resonate with it. This puts the body's energy field into homogeneity with its surrounding environment, and promotes movement of the seat of consciousness into the surrounding environment, partly in response to the fact that the two electromagnetic medians are now a single energy continuum. Thus, the same process which moves the brain into focused coherence at steadily higher levels of frequency and amplitude, so as to entrain analogous frequencies in the universe for data collection, also promotes the enhancement of bodily energy levels to a point adequate to permit the subject to experience an out-of-body movement when he is ready to do so. In addition, by resonating with the Earth's electromagnetic sphere, the human body creates a surprisingly powerful carrier wave to assist the mind in communication activity with other human minds similarly tuned. 11. Consciousness and energy. Before our explanation can proceed any further, it is essential to define the mechanism by which the human mind exercises the function known as consciousness, and to describe the way in which that consciousness operates to deduce meaning from the stimuli which it receives. To do this, we will first consider the fundamental character of the material world in which we have our physical existence.
Okay, this is all dealing with what I was just kind of going through and reading. I'm going to be posting this in my Patreon for KevRow University, so you can go along with this and study this, so you'll be better prepared for class and have some input via different focus points in these documents and different things that you may find interesting that you may want to bring yourself to the classroom. Enjoy.
In order to accurately perceive the raw stuff with which our consciousness must work. The first point which needs to be made is that the two terms, matter and energy, tend to be misleading if taken to indicate two distinctly different states of existence in the physical world that we know it. Indeed, if the term matter is taken to mean solid substance as opposed to energy, which is understood to mean a force of some sort, then the use of the former is entirely misleading. Science now knows that both the electrons which spin in the energy field located around the nucleus of the atom and the nucleus itself are made up of nothing more than oscillating energy grids. Solid matter, in the strict construction of the term, simply does not exist. Rather, atomic structure is composed of oscillating energy grids surrounded by other oscillating energy grids, which orbit at extraordinarily high speeds. In his book, Stalking the Wild Pendulum, Itzhak Bentov gives the following figures. The energy grid, which composes the nucleus of the atom, vibrates at approximately 1022 hertz.
Now, hold on here. Don't forget that this is your psychedelic folk and the science behind it. Okay, so I don't want you to start believing this shit. Because again, this is a trick of, if you start believing this, who knows what you believe. Just because you got a microscope to tell me what it look like and see in your study of it, doesn't mean it's that. Again, these are theories. And of course, you take theory serious. They're good while we on earth, coming up with different ways to explain what God did and how this natural order of things worked. But again, remember, this is your Einstein theory. Y'all believe in this. This is the deception, and it's in your face. And people have been affected by this thought process.
Which means 10 followed by 22 zeros. At 70 degrees Fahrenheit, an atom oscillates at the rate of 1015 hertz. An entire molecule composed of a number of atoms bound together in a single energy field vibrates in the range of 109 hertz. A live human cell vibrates at approximately 103 hertz. The point to be made is that the entire human being, brain, consciousness, and all is like the universe which surrounds him, nothing more or less than an extraordinarily complex system of energy fields. The so-called states of matter are actually variances in the state of energy, and human consciousness is a function of the interaction of energy in two opposite states, motion versus rest, in a manner described in the following paragraph. 12. Holograms. Energy creates, stores, and retrieves meaning in the universe by projecting or expanding at certain frequencies in a three-dimensional mode that creates a living pattern called a hologram. The concept of the hologram can be most easily understood by using an example cited by Bentov, in which he asks the reader to visualize a bowl full of water into which 3 pebbles are dropped. As the ripples created by the simultaneous entry of the 3 pebbles radiate outward towards the rim of the bowl, Bentov further asks the reader to visualize that the surface of the water is suddenly flash frozen, so that the ripple pattern is preserved instantly. The ice is removed, leaving the 3 pebbles still laying at the bottom.
Don't forget, these are mind control techniques of these motherfuckers, okay? So don't do this, okay? But this is what they were doing. And they only released this type of stuff to make it appear like it was normal or there was some advancement in psychological. No, these were all tests done. And what happened to all the black people that was involved in it?
Of the bowl. Then the ice is exposed to a powerful, coherent source of light, such as a laser. The result will be a 3-dimensional model or representation of the position of the 3 pebbles suspended in midair. Holograms are capable of encoding so much detail that, for example, it is possible to take a holographic projection of a glass of swamp water and view it under magnification to see small organisms not visible to the naked eye when the glass of water itself is examined. The whole concept of holography, despite its scientific implications.
And this is going to be dope because as we talk about holography and holograms and projections, and I think that's probably, I'm going to enjoy this class better than history myself because I'm into like how the world was created. I'm into that. And if they got a way to say these beams of light behind this holograph, and let me expand this so people can see. Let me see from this perspective. Is what creates the holographic experience. Is that what the sun is? Is that what the sun simulator is? I don't know. But we're going to be talking about that more on my nightly shows right here on Channel 54. Make sure you on the Patreon and signed up and just for support. God bless y'all.
For example, it is possible to take a holographic projection of a glass of swamp water and view it under magnification to see small organisms not visible to the naked eye when the glass of water itself is examined. The whole concept of holography, despite its scientific implications, has only been known to physicists since the underlying mathematical principles were worked out by Denis Gabor in 1947. He later won a Nobel Prize for his work. Laboratory demonstration of Gabor's work only occurred years later following the invention of the laser, as biologist Lyle Watson explains. The purest kind of light available to us is that produced by a laser, which sends out a beam in which all the waves are of one frequency, like those made by an ideal pebble in a perfect pond. When two laser beams touch, they produce an interference pattern of light and dark ripples that can be recorded on a photographic plate. And if one of the beams, instead of coming directly from the laser, is reflected first off an object such as a human face, the resulting pattern will be very complex indeed, but it can still be recorded. The record will be a hologram of the face. 13. The part encodes the whole. Of further importance is the fact that even if we dropped our frozen hologram of the ripple pattern on the floor and broke it into a number of pieces, each individual piece would recreate the entire holographic image all by itself. The smaller the piece, the fuzzier and more distorted would be the resulting holographic projection. But the fact remains that a whole projection would nonetheless be made. The key to creating any hologram is that the energy in motion must interact with energy in a state of rest, or non-motion. In the foregoing example, the pebbles represent energy in motion, while the water, before its agitation by the pebbles, represents the energy at a state of rest. To activate, or in effect, to perceive the meaning of a holograph, energy, in this case a coherent light source such as a laser beam, must be passed through the interference pattern generated by the interaction between the moving energy and the energy at rest. In the simple example given by Bentov, this requirement was fulfilled by holding the frozen interference pattern in front of the coherent light to project the three-dimensional holographic image.
Now tell me this. What did the illusion transmitter do? Okay, we're going to go into that in class. Shout out to y'all. What did the illusion transmitter do, and did it act as and what's in front of it to give the hologram like a moon or anything else? Fucking make it appear real or maybe not. An illusion or maybe not.
The interference pattern generated by the interaction between the moving energy and the energy at rest. In the simple example given by Bentov, this requirement was fulfilled by holding the frozen interference pattern in front of the coherent light to project the three-dimensional holographic image, its meaning, into space. As Marilyn Ferguson, editor of the Brain Mind Bulletin, tells us, another feature of a hologram is its efficiency. Billions of bits of information can be stored in a tiny space. The pattern of the holographic photograph is stored everywhere on the plate. 14. The consciousness matrix. The universe is composed of interacting energy fields, some at rest and some in motion. It is, in and of itself, one gigantic hologram of unbelievable complexity. According to the theories of Karl Pribram, a neuroscientist at Stanford University, and David Bohm, a physicist at the University of London, the human mind is also a hologram which attunes itself to the universal hologram by the medium of energy exchange, thereby deducing meaning and achieving the state which we call consciousness. With respect to states of expanded or altered consciousness, such as GateWay uses, the process operates in the following way. As energy passes through various aspects of the universal hologram and is perceived by the electrostatic fields which comprise the human mind, the holographic images being conveyed are projected upon those electrostatic fields of the mind and are perceived or understood to the extent that the electrostatic field is operating at a frequency and amplitude that can harmonize with and therefore read the energy carrier wave pattern passing through it. Changes in the frequency and amplitude of the electrostatic field, which comprises the human mind, determine the configuration and hence the character of the holographic energy matrix, which the mind projects to intercept meaning directly from the holographic transmissions of the universe. Then, to make sense of what the holographic image is saying to it, the mind proceeds to compare the image just received with itself. Specifically, it does this by comparing the image received with that part of its own hologram, which constitutes memory. By registering differences in geometric form and in energy frequency, the consciousness perceives. As psychologist Keith Floyd puts it, contrary to what everyone knows is so, it may not be the brain that produces consciousness, but rather consciousness that creates the appearance of the brain. 15. Brain in phase. The consciousness process is most easily envisaged if we picture the holographic input with a three-dimensional grid system superimposed over it, such that all of the energy patterns contained within can be described in terms of three-dimensional geometry using mathematics to reduce the data to the two-dimensional form. Bentov states that scientists suspect that the human mind operates on a simple binary go, no-go system, as do all digital computers. Therefore, once it superimposes a three-dimensional matrix over holographic information it wishes to interpret, and reduces that information mathematically to two-dimensional form, it can completely process it using its fundamental binary system, just as any computer made by the hand of man can process volumes of data, and make various comparisons between the data and information stored in its digital memory. Our minds operate in the same way, perceiving by comparison only. Bentov states the proposition this way: our whole reality is constructed by constantly making such comparisons. Whenever we perceive something, we always perceive differences only. In states of expanded consciousness, the right hemisphere of the human brain, in its holistic, nonlinear, and nonverbal mode of functioning, acts as the primary matrix or receptor for this holographic input, while, by operating in phase or coherence with the right brain, the left hemisphere provides the secondary matrix through its binary, computer-like method of functioning to screen further the data by comparison and reduce it to a discrete, two-dimensional form. 16. Evaluation. To the extent that GateWay succeeds in bringing about a refinement in the energy matrix of the mind, it succeeds in expanding or altering human consciousness so that it can perceive without recourse to the intercession of the physical senses, such that ever more of the universal hologram, not, of course, accessible by sense perception, can ultimately be perceived and understood. Marilyn Ferguson has written that the theories of Pribram and Bohm appear to account for all transcendental experience, paranormal events, and even normal perceptual oddities. She goes on to say of Pribram, currently he is proposing a startling, all-encompassing model that is generating considerable excitement among those intrigued by the mysteries of human consciousness. His holographic model marries brain research to theoretical physics. It accounts for normal perception and simultaneously takes the paranormal.
Now, if you see, that was a actual cube that it was reflecting out of
Physics.
So it has to be a reflective cube of perception. The lens acting as your eye, of course, in real life, but the cube is very significant to the laser and perception, like a cross, like a starting point, a laser point, a starting point. So, shit.
Accounts for normal perception and simultaneously takes the paranormal and transcendental experiences out of the supernatural by explaining them as a part of nature. Like certain strange discoveries of quantum physics, the radical reorientation of this theory suddenly makes sense of paradoxical sayings of mystics throughout the ages. 17. Self-cognition. To complete our outline of the process by which the mind achieves and exercises consciousness, we must also describe the mechanism which accounts for the aspect of human thought that differentiates it from the consciousness of plants or animals, i.e., self-cognition. Humans not only know, but they know what they know. They are able to monitor the process of their own thinking and maintain an awareness of it. Moreover, they can conduct a comparative assessment, evaluating the functioning of their thought processes against various objective standards they have adopted. Human consciousness can do this because it has the capacity to duplicate aspects of its own hologram, project them out, perceive that projection, put it through comparison with the memory aspect, where its evaluation standards of measure are stored, of its own hologram, and measure or sense the difference using three-dimensional geometry and then binary go, no-go poles to yield verbal cognition about the self. 28. GateWay method. Having put the gateway experience in context by postulating a structural outline of how and why it seems to work, and having shown what it is designed to achieve, the time has come to examine the specific techniques which comprise the gateway training.
Pay attention, you guys. Remember, the perception and space and time is no further than a couple inches from your face. Everything is going on mental. Everything is carrying on the perception from your eyes, and how you really have to understand how the eyes work and how they're manipulating time and space by way of you. You're the medium. When you look, don't get this shit twisted. Like, they've created this shit. You know, scriptures say, don't do this and don't do that. They made us into sin. We were born into different practices that are family, from voodoo to this one and that one and that one. But that's not who you is. All it is the coup d'etat of your mind. Let's keep going.
Process. These techniques are designed to enable the user of the gateway tapes to manipulate the high energy states, which can be achieved if the user continues to work with the tapes over a period of time. The amount of time required to reach advanced energy states and to fully exploit the techniques varies with the individual. The sensitivity of his nervous system, his general state of mind, and the extent to which he may have previously developed facility in related techniques, such as transcendental meditation, are all pertinent factors affecting the speed at which he may expect to progress. The gateway process begins by teaching the individual participant to isolate extraneous concerns in a visualization device called an energy conversion box. Next, the participant is introduced to a method of encouraging his mind and body to strive to achieve a
Energy conversion box. Write that down, y'all, and do your research.
state of resonance through the utterance of a single tone, a monotonous, protracted humming sound that sets up a feeling of vibration, particularly in the head. He engages in this resonant tuning, as it is called, by humming along with a chorus of such sounds that are
Think rap music, all of the hooks, all of the bass level frequencies.
contained on the gateway tape. Following this, the participant is exposed to the gateway affirmation and is encouraged to repeat it to himself as he hears it repeated on the tape.
Kind of like a boom box. Remember, put it up to your head back in the day. Boom box. Go ahead.
This affirmation is a statement to the effect that the individual realizes that he is more than merely a physical body, and that he deeply desires to expand his consciousness. 29. Hemisync introduced. After that, he's exposed for the first time to the hemisync sound frequencies, and is
That's dope.
encouraged to focus on and develop a perception of and appreciation for those feelings which
Yeah, you ever been out with your homies? They say, man, that's right, you ready for knowledge right there. You hanging out with all this, and then the magic wand hit your ass, a dream world. That liquid, that angel dust, nigga, you ain't coming back, bro. You not coming back, bro. You out there, yeah, bro, you ain't never hit this. This called Mickey Mouse. You ain't never hit Goofy? Bro, it's what it starts with a cigarette. First of all, yeah, then you moved on the weed. First of all, and then y'all said you wanted to go higher. You just wanted to be retarded. Press 1, you listen to White Line, go away. All the time I think of you. Something like a phenomenon, press 1. See, you don't get it. And when you understand what it is, what this look like? Dipping a goddamn Newport in embalming fluids, I'm on $35. It's gonna get you real hot. Just shit that fucked you up.
accompany the synchronization of brainwaves that result. Next comes the technique of progressive and systematic physical relaxation, while the hemisync frequencies are expanded
You ever seen relaxation on the street corner after a hit?
to include additional forms of pink and white noise, designed to put the physical body at the virtual threshold of sleep, as well as to calm the left hemisphere of the mind while raising the right hemisphere to a state of heightened attentiveness. Once all of this
And once all these spontaneous protons and neutrons get to blowing up in your brain where colors become frequency, boy, let me tell you, when colors become what? Let's go back. This is insane. This is insane. They had him laying there and said something magical. Let's go.
Feelings which accompany the synchronization of brainwaves that result. Next comes the technique of progressive and systematic physical relaxation.
Excellent. Marquis says that wet. Yes, sir. Right answer. Right behind the bungalows. You there. Yes, sir. That wet.
While the hemisync frequencies are expanded to include additional forms of pink and white noise, designed to
What the fuck is pink and white noise? I didn't know noise had colors.
put the physical body at the virtual threshold of sleep, as well as to calm the left hemisphere of the mind while raising the right hemisphere to a state of heightened attentiveness. Once all of this is achieved, the participant is invited to envisage the creation of an energy balloon.
That's what could you imagine our uncles telling this story? First, when I hit one, this all sounding urban form. I hit that shit one time, nigga. I was with James and the Giant Peach. Press one. I saw Blue and Yellow Purple Hill. I was hanging out with Humpty Dumpty. That's what a crackhead would tell you. There's no magical box in 3D form in space, but that's how it make you feel.
Of an energy flow beginning at the center of the top of the head and extending down in all directions to the feet. The energy involved in this flow then proceeds.
That's called PCP. Ask your uncle. What did he feel? I bet you I can interview a crackhead. He'll tell me, yeah, feel it all the way down to my ankles and all the way come back up. Just like that 3D print. Let me $5, Kev.
Leads up through the body and back out into the balloon pattern again. The energy balloon, which sets up a pattern very reminiscent of the cosmic egg discussed earlier, not only enhances bodily energy flow and encourages the early achievement of a suitable resonant state, but is also designed to provide protection against conscious entities possessing lower energy levels, which the participant might encounter in the event that he achieves an out-of-body state. It serves as a precautionary purpose in the unlikely event that the participant's first out-of-body experience involves direct projection outside the terrestrial sphere. 30. Advanced techniques. Having reached focus 10, the participant is now ready to endeavor to achieve a state of sufficiently expanded awareness to begin actually interacting with dimensions beyond those associated with his experience of physical reality. This state is called Focus 12 and involves conscious efforts on his part while additional forms of pink and white noise enter the sound stream being directed into his ears from the GateWay tape. Once the participant has achieved this state of greatly expanded awareness, he is ready to begin employing a series of specific techniques or tools, as the Monroe Institute characterizes them, which enable him to manipulate his newly found expanded awareness to obtain practical, useful feedback of value for promoting self-discovery.
They say, when you get up and come back from this high, what you gonna do? What did you see? Oh my goodness, I seen Abraham Lincoln. What did you see? Greater. Look deeper. Look deeper. I saw Abraham Lincoln. No, nigga. What did you really see? He was a fucking alien. He was a fucking... He broken down to a smallest molecule. He didn't even exist. So you're taking these philosophies from induced... I'm fucking dead, y'all. I mean, we're all dead, but... Sheesh. Lord have mercy.
And personal growth. Specific techniques.
They give you LSD and ask you where you been. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. Excuse me, Mr. Gillespie. After a whole life of LSD and fluoride, what are you about to do right now? I'm going to run. I'm just going to start running. Press one. Me and Bubba was on shrimp boat. Press one. They had shrimp stew, shrimp beef, shrimp kebab, shrimp sandwich, shrimp, fried shrimp, big shrimp. What the fuck you want me to say, motherfucker? Shit, you eat cockroaches if you got to. Press one. Lord, what type of animals did you see there? Oh man, they look like water bugs with trunks of like elephant trunks. Jesus Christ. And they actually did science tests. Is anybody ever brought back any proof of this high trip in your family? No, it's not real, family. You're blue and yellow, purple. You did not see the fabric of society or none of that shit. Stop the cap.
Involved are described individually below. A. Problem solving. This technique involves identifying fundamental problems which the individual wishes to see solved, filling his expanded awareness with his perception of these problems, and then projecting them out into the universe. In this way, the individual enlists the assistance of what Monroe Institute calls his higher self. In other words, his expanded consciousness.
Okay, so all you young Pharaoh and the other people who talk about their higher self and they love myself and all of these concepts, it's because you have been mind controlled. Nature boy, why you think they all appear mind control? Because they are. Because they are. They're taking part in CIA old ritualistic behavior that induces people. They probably eat mushrooms and grass, all type of things.
Problem solving. This technique involves identifying fundamental problems which the individual wishes to see solved, filling his expanded awareness with his perception of these problems, and then projecting them out into the universe. In this way, the individual enlists the assistance of what Monroe Institute calls his higher self. In other words, his expanded consciousness, to interact with the universal hologram to obtain the information required to solve the problem. This approach may be used to solve personal difficulties, technical problems in the realm of physics, mathematics, practical administrative problems, and so on. Responses to the problem-solving technique may be received almost immediately, but often they come based on developing intuition over the next 2 to 3 days. Frequently, the response comes in the form of a sudden, holistic perception in which the individual suddenly finds that he simply knows the answer in all of its ramifications and completely in context, sometimes without even being able to put his newly found perception into words. At least initially. In some cases, the response may even arrive in the form of visual symbols, which the individual will see with his mind while he is in the Focus 12 state, and which he will have to interpret after he returns to normal consciousness. B. Patterning. This technique involves the use of consciousness to achieve desired objectives in the physical, emotional, or intellectual sphere. It involves concentration on the desired objective while in a Focus 12 state, an extension of the individual's perception of that objective into the whole expanded consciousness, and its projection into the universe with the intention that the desired objective is already a matter of established achievement, which is destined to be realized within the time frame specified. This particular methodology is based on the belief that the thought patterns generated by our consciousness in a state of expanded awareness create holograms which represent the situation we desire to bring about, and, in doing so, establish the basis for the actual realization of that goal. Once the thought-generated hologram of the sought-after objective is established in the universe, it becomes an aspect of reality which interacts with the universal hologram to bring about the desired objective, which might not, under other with the intention that the desired objective is already a matter of established achievement, which is destined to be realized within the time frame specified. This particular methodology is based on the belief that the thought patterns generated by our consciousness in a state of expanded awareness create holograms which represent the situation we desire to bring about, and, in doing so, establish the basis for the actual realization of that goal. Once the thought-generated hologram of the sought-after objective is established in the universe, it becomes an aspect of reality which interacts with the universal hologram to bring about the desired objective, which might not, under other circumstances, ever occur. In other words, the technique of patterning recognizes the fact that since consciousness is the source of all reality, our thoughts have the power to influence the development of reality in time-space as it applies to us, if those thoughts can be projected with adequate intensity. However, the more complicated the objective sought, and the more radically it departs from our current reality, the more time the universal hologram will need to reorient our reality sphere to accommodate our desires. Monroe trainers caution against attempting to force the pace of this process, because the individual could succeed in dislocating his existing reality with drastic consequences. C. Color breathing. The next technique is called color breathing and is designed to use the expanded awareness and highly focused attentiveness associated with the Focus 12 state to imagine various colors in a particularly intense and vivid manner so as to use them to resonate with and, in turn, to activate the body's own energies. Fundamentally, in terms of practical application, it is a healing technique which is designed to restore the body and to enhance its physical capabilities by balancing, revitalizing, and returning bodily energy flows. It is predicated on the principle that the body's electromagnetic field is capable of altering its resonance pattern so as to entrain energy from the Earth's electrostatic field for its own use. The various colors envisaged in the imagination as part of the technique cue the mind as to which frequencies and what specific amplitudes are desired in connection with this entrainment and the subsequent alterations in bodily energy flow patterns. That color has the capacity to affect the human mind is well known, and the effectuality of color in certain kinds of healing is a demonstrable fact. For example, the application of intense blue light to an area of physical tumescence leads to a relatively rapid and easily observable reduction in the swelling while red, and to a lesser extent, yellow has quite the opposite effect. However, in the hemisync application of the technique, external light sources are not involved. Rather, the mind is the sole agent of healing and revitalization.
So, all those scientific words: good music, good vibes, good output, good perception, good reflection. Poor mind, poor megahertz, base level nonsense, death, destruction, end, fear, sorrow, destruction. So, although you may be next to people, don't mean you got the same stuff manifesting tomorrow. You know. So many people of the past, so many people can look back in the past and see how many people who was next to them who are no longer here no more. Y'all had different things going on in y'all brain, different perspectives, different outcomes, different every damn thing. Shout out to the people who contribute to this broadcast. Shout out to Nelda B. She contribute to this program, of course. And who is this? Who else is here? Pop Deuce, shout out to you, sir, for the Gateway program. Yeah, shout out to you. Now when you look at Ice Cube's CD and you see lethal dose of the needle going inside of the headphones on a young black child at the morgue on his way to be iced, you now understand it's the music, it's the frequency that he put you on, that he put us on, and along with Weinstein and their investors and things of that nature, to keep you in that. Not only did they do it in the music, they did it in the theater as well. So they can't call it a coincidence that you make all of these records or tapes, as this broadcast has said, these tapes that you guys were making. And then you get into movies and portray the roles which emulated the tapes, therefore inducing those who following you to do what? Walk the same path. Now you can't come out after all these years and big three investors and say, I'm not with them. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. The good thing is you were able to look back at They Clone Tyrone, because that's a good starting point, and see exactly where they began to do these experiments, not just with music, but with food products, drugs, your faith, your religion, just delinking you from your real self and installing this false sense of self where you're greater than God. Now look where we at. Drugged the fuck out. 200 million people genocided and counting. You feel me? Margaret Sanger, Negro problem, a success. Universe 25, just insane. You know, and somebody got to pick a starting point. This is War of the Worlds, 1953. And I keep bringing this up because I want you guys to think about what it took to convince the people at the time to believe aliens was coming down and destroying the world. Now, we're looking for laser beam, fire beams and shit that set Chicago, the South on fire. But in the 50s, aliens attacked on the radio, and our people really believed that. But you know what else was going on in the 50s? Destruction, civil rights, and all of these basic things. So I'd say war. That's right after the war. So what happened in the 50s? There you go, Maui. There you go. You see the how they're able to start fires and generate large sums of heat. We're going to be exploring that. So bring y'all thinking caps when we talk about this, and don't be afraid to speak.
Kinds of technologies actually go, and how they Hey guys. Today, we're going to take a look at a lesser known history involving ancient technologies that you might think belong more in a sci-fi movie than in the dusty pages of historical text. We're going to be talking about ancient directed energy weapons, or DEWs. Sounds futuristic? Well, you'd be surprised to learn how far back these kinds of technologies actually go, and how they may have been hidden, dismissed, or even covered up over time. So let's get to it. So let's start off with Archimedes. I'm sure many of you are already familiar with his name. He's that ancient Greek guy that we all learned about in school, credited with inventions like the Archimedes screw and famously known for running around the streets naked shouting "Eureka!" Which, if you think about it, is a really weird story. As if Archimedes was some type of figure made to represent the technology and understandings of a previous time encapsulated into a single figure. But here's where it gets interesting.
Again, this is our weapons described as Archimedes. So they were using the power of Archimedes to destroy. Well, it's not a real person. It's more like a lot of allegorical things and put inside of a person, but it's mere a technology.
Archimedes is also often associated with creating an ancient death ray, a weapon that supposedly set Roman ships ablaze during the siege of Syracuse. This is a very well-known story, yet, when brought up today, this account is often dismissed as myth or propaganda. So
if you look at the new Indiana Jones, you'll see what Archimedes and its time continuum and things of that nature. It had a lot to do with time and starting points and trajectories and a lot of stuff that we talk about here on the show. So, yeah, pay attention.
What's going on here? Could this story be more grounded in reality than we've been led to believe? And if this really was an ancient device that could melt metal, then what are the implications? Could it have been a tool for causing resets, eradicating warring nations, or even wiping out entire civilizations? Archimedes is famously credited for
You saw that? So they were around with George Washington, yeah.
principles in hydrostatics and mechanics, exemplified by inventions such as the Archimedes screw, used for water irrigation, and mechanical devices like the claw of Archimedes, which is accepted to have been actually used in ancient times, but for some reason, historians think that this ancient heat ray is too fanciful of a tale, and that it was debunked by Mythbusters. Even History Channel has a video on it, but they cover the good information and then say it's aliens, which is just a shame. Is it too far-fetched to consider that the ancients devised a way to amplify light for thermal applications? If Archimedes' other inventions were not only plausible but revolutionary, why would this particular story be a fabrication? Is it not within the realm of possibility that a genius who revolutionized multiple fields of science could engineer a way to focus sunlight as a weapon? Especially when we consider that modern experiments, while not universally conclusive, have indeed shown that focusing sunlight to ignite a combustible material is possible. So could it be that we're dealing with various interpretations or even lost variations of an ancient device? It's important to recognize that the understandings of optics was far from rudimentary in ancient times. The Greeks and Romans had a reasonably sophisticated grasp of lenses and light reflection. Moreover, text from antiquity suggests that Archimedes used burning glasses as part of his death ray. This opens up a whole new avenue, as are we not confusing burning mirrors with burning glasses? two technologies that, although similar, are not the same. This distinction might be the key to understanding the blurry line between myth and reality in the Archimedes tale. It could be that what we call a death ray today was actually an advanced use of burning glasses or Fresnel lenses and mirrors, which had legitimate and varied applications in antiquity. Burning glasses have been a topic of fascination for millennia. They're essentially large convex lenses that focus the sun's rays into a small area, intensifying the heat to such a degree that they can start fires or cauterize wounds. And this isn't just a legend. This is backed up by multiple historical accounts. Roman writers like Pliny the Elder noted the use of glass vases filled with water to concentrate sunlight enough to ignite clothing. Plutarch described a burning mirror at the temple of the Vestal Virgins. This temple was used to relight the sacred fire of Vesta, which was an eternal flame in ancient Rome. Quote, "If it, the fire, happens by an accident to be put out, it is not to be lighted again from another fire, but new fire is to be gained by drawing a pure and unpolluted flame from the sunbeams. They kindle it generally with concave vessels of brass, formed by hollowing out an isosceles rectangular triangle, whose lines from the circumference meet in one single point. This being placed against the sun, causes its rays to converge in the center, which by reflection, acquiring the force and activity of fire, rarefy the air, and immediately kindle such light and dry matter as they think fit to apply." End quote. Aristophanes, the great playwright, even mentioned the burning lens in his play The Clouds as far back as 420 as they think fit to apply. End quote. Aristophanes, the great playwright, even
So you see, it's about the breaking up of the family and turning one against the other. You see that? And that's what's going on today. Let's go.
mentioned the burning lens in his play The Clouds as far back as 424 BC. Quote, Strepsiades says, "Have you ever seen a beautiful transparent stone at the druggist, with which you may kindle fire?" Socrates says, "You mean a crystal lens?" Strepsiades says, "That's right. Well, now if I place myself with this stone in the sun, and a long way off from the clerk, while he was writing out the conviction, I can make all the wax upon which the words were written melt." End quote. Another version goes, quote, "Under further encouragement from Socrates to slacken his thought into air, he imagines melting away the wax tablet carrying his indictment with a sunbeam reflected through a glass lens." End quote. Which is interesting because Plato compares wax tablets to human memory. More importantly, this reference comes about 200 years before the supposed dating of the siege of Syracuse. So let's be clear, ancient thinkers already understood that sunbeams could melt or burn objects when concentrated through a glass lens. Also, it's worth noting that Fresnel lenses initially were called burning glasses, and they essentially do the same thing. During our deep dives into lighthouse research, I've encountered numerous accounts claiming that the Fresnel lenses at the top could function as a death ray. Interestingly, almost all the original lighthouses had Fresnel lenses, but they've been conveniently replaced in modern times. There are even videos online demonstrating the formidable power of these Fresnel lenses. Are we really supposed to believe that this knowledge was absent in antiquity? So this apparent legend of Archimedes may be misunderstood because it wasn't until centuries after the event that it was discussed and contemplated by other Greek authors. The absence of contemporary sources has fueled skepticism. However, it's entirely possible that such groundbreaking technology would be kept under wraps. Just because a few Greek historians like Polybius, Titus, and Plutarch had covered the Roman siege of Syracuse, yet did not mention the death ray, does not automatically conclude that it never existed. Could it be that such a devastating weapon was deliberately omitted from historical records? If we're open to the idea that Archimedes himself might be a made-up figure created to house the technologies of a bygone era, then the silence surrounding this weapon might be more revealing than we think. Another point skeptics often bring up is Diocles, born 50 years after Archimedes, who wrote a work called On Burning Mirrors. This is the first documented proof that parabolic mirrors could focus light. Critics point out that while Diocles talks about a contemporary of Archimedes, he never mentions that Archimedes built a death ray. Sure, but let's not miss the forest for the trees here. Diocles' entire work is literally about how to burn things with mirrors. Plus, you don't even have the original text, just translations and copies. Interestingly, right after this discussing burning mirrors, Diocles brings up Archimedes in relation to geometry.
Somebody said, wasn't there a bomb like 10,000 suns? Yes. What did they call that bomb, that equivalent to 10,000 suns? And who made it?
Could this be a hidden nod? Secret or not, Diocles goes in depth about the power of these burning mirrors and the nature of conic shapes. He confirms when a shape is curved into a parabola, it has enormous burning power. This is backed up by a 14th century encyclopedic work by Muhammad b. Ibrahim b. Said al-Akfani describing how the ancients used to make these mirrors. Some were flat surfaces, others made them concave, but it was Diocles who showed that parabolic curves had the greatest burning power. So are we to believe that just because there's contradicting information, the story's not true? Or could it be that we're not getting the full picture? Let's consider the phantom timeline hypothesis for a moment. Why is there such a gap between Arabic sources and ancient Greek authors on this matter? Could it be that stories of naked men running through the streets are exaggerated or even fabricated, adding to the inconsistencies in these historical accounts? Interesting to note is that more references to Archimedes and his death ray emerge about 400 years after his supposed death in mainstream timelines. These references are found in texts like Hippias or The Bath, attributed to Lucian of Samosata. Yet, within this disputed text, there's a direct nod to the story of Archimedes' death ray. Archimedes is said to have burned enemy ships using science. He doesn't explicitly mention a death ray, but this is considered an ancient reference to Archimedes using fire, combined with science or advanced skill, to destroy enemy ships. Now that's a big deal. One could argue that this might simply be an innovative use of fire, akin to Greek fire, but then why didn't the author delve into more detail? Given that the subject of burning mirrors and glasses is ancient, is there a reason why this particular knowledge has been relegated to myth? The other two ancient references to this death ray come from a medical treatise by Galen. He states, quote, "I suppose that Archimedes is said to have set fire to the enemy ships using fiery stuff," end quote. But the translation is not 100% reliable. The Greek word used here is a bit of a puzzler when it comes to fire. It could refer to holy fires or fires associated with offerings, so the story gets a little bit more complicated. The next reference doesn't come until about 700 years after Archimedes. The skeptics often question, why aren't these events referenced in earlier sources? How can someone come in centuries later and speak of such a fanciful tale of so much time has passed since the actual events? This isn't definitive proof, but it does add an element of confusion to our perceived timeline of history. This next reference comes from the mathematician Anthemius of Tralles, who was attempting to decipher the method Archimedes might have used. He suggests that Archimedes could have set Roman ships ablaze using mirrors. This means that people knew of the story and understood the end result, that ships were burned from a distance. What they lacked was the specific method, technique, or properties needed to replicate it. Anthemius speculates that it might have been done using mirrors. His claims come from a manuscript titled Mechanical Paradoxes, which even has a chapter dedicated to burning glasses. Anthemius' speculation isn't just a shot in the dark. He appears pretty convinced that this method would indeed lead to a conflagration, a large-scale fire wherever it was focused. The narrative that we often hear revolves around the defensive use of this technology, particularly against invading naval fleets. But what if its applications extended beyond just defense? What if it had other uses that were so impactful or potentially dangerous that very few details about its construction have been left for us to find? Skeptics see the varying versions of these tales as proof that they're fabricated, but I see it differently. To me, these discrepancies are not evidence that the story is false, but rather that it's a piece of lost technology. The accounts that we do have are likely attempts at reconstructing or rediscovering it. If there were no mentions of Archimedes using burning mirrors prior to the time of Anthemius, then where did he get the idea? So the notion that this was all just invented out of thin air doesn't really hold up. Let's remember, discussions of parabolic curved mirrors capable of focusing light into intense heat were occurring just 50 years after Archimedes' death. And these burning glasses and mirrors had applications in ancient Rome, even for something as mundane as cooking food. So might it be possible that Archimedes serves as a kind of cover, a symbolic figure standing in for a lost technology that used a combination of curved mirrors and lenses? In 1973, Greek scientist Dr. Ioannis Sakis conducted an experiment using 60 sailors with oblong mirrors to focus the sun's rays on a wooden ship 160 feet away, successfully setting it on fire and providing modern evidence that Archimedes could feasibly have used similar technology, a concept also supported by today's solar furnaces, which operate on a parallel principle to achieve extremely high temperatures of 10,000 suns. What's intriguing is that referring to Archimedes' supposed device, the descriptors switch between burning glass and mirrors. It could be a translation issue, or perhaps Archimedes was actually using some form of lens or ancient magnifying glass to set ships ablaze from a distance. Those skeptics like Kepler and Descartes dismiss the idea as fanciful, its validity is affirmed by a host of others, like Diodorus Siculus, Lucian, Dion, Zonaras, Galen, Anthemius, Eustathius, and Tzetzes. Tzetzes even went so far as
It's crazy because all of these different gods is just the same technology of this fucking being that they're able to magnify and destroy old wooden homes that aren't worth shit. So think about that when you're in the past. None of that time immemorial shit is real and way back in Archimedes they had this and that. No. These are all little allegorical wordplay for how they defeated you and how they burned so much back in the day and how aliens attacked our people in the 50s. You feel me? How aliens attacked our people in the 50s. So I'm gonna get this over to the people on Patreon, and you guys can help discover the seat of the soul and how it's a program for outer body experiments and all of these other things that we've kind of got ourselves involved in, thinking it was spiritual based when it's all program based. There's no real, and if you look back, there's no real new age movement. It's these sciences of what they call hermetic principles, but I don't even think it's hermetic principles. I don't even think it's hermetic. I just think it's a false sense of reality. Press 1. It's a gateway it's a false sense of reality, and the drugs that was used in the gateway program are all synthetic, just like your reality in time immemorial space and everything else. So we're going to talk about that more on the Kevin G Show late night right here on Channel 54. KevRow, a place where we can gather our thoughts and do these fantastic conversations. And it's time to get back to work. If you want to participate, feel free to send me anything you got on patreon.com/KevGillsTV. Don't email me. Only Thomas. Everybody else, get on patreon.com. Visit our night show right here. If I'm not too tired, visit the night show. And we'll do some conspiracy program conversations tonight. Thank those who supported this broadcast, of course. Let me do a shout out to everybody